All right, if you just joined us, why don't you drop your name in the comments and where you're listening from, where you're watching from. We got some awesome stuff we're going to jump in today. We're going to talk about some branding. We're going to talk about some marketing. We're going to talk about my rebranding journey, which let me tell you, my first brand was rough, and you're going to love seeing how bad it was. Honestly, if nothing else, you came here to make fun of how bad my cheap branding is. So. Jeremy Murphy from Louisiana. What's up, Jeremy? We got Clark here from California. Elliot from High Point. Awesome, awesome. All right. If you just jumped on, shoot your name in the chat where you're listening from, and we are going to get into our branding and our marketing talk today. Let me make sure I pull up my presentation properly here. All right. We are talking about branding today. Branding is a passionate subject of mine just because I love good brands. I'm sure you're the same. Whenever you see a good brand that looks cool, that looks good, catches your eye, you want to kind of use that psychology to your advantage. And so I love good branding. So I want to jump in. My first brand costed $500. Now, when I first started business, I barely had $500. So that was a lot of money to me. That was like big bucks. I went on to 99 Designs. I had a contest where people would submit what they thought was the design I wanted, and then whoever won got the $500 prize money. So I had like hundreds of designers designing these ads. Now I thought that was a great idea. I thought that was the best idea. Truthfully, it doesn't get you the best work available, and you'll see why. So I spent $500. It was a lot of money to me at the time, and this is what I came up with. Boom. Best brand in the industry, Leaves and Lights. And can you tell what my services were going to be? Gutter cleaning and Christmas lights. I thought I was on top of the world. I thought I was the man because I was going to do two services that were totally different, and I found a way to make their logos combine. You see, I got my little leaf, and then I've got the light bulb. It was, in my mind, it was awesome. Donovan, what's going on? Raphael, good to see you here. But I thought my branding was the best. I was like, this logo is perfect. And the funny thing is, though, as time went on, I realized I didn't want to do gutter cleaning. And I didn't want a brand that was tied just to specific services. I didn't want to be locked into this tiny box. So things had to change. Now, I started to really realize I needed a new brand when I went to get my trailer wrapped. Okay. And this is what came back. Are you ready? Boom. The coolest trailer in the world. Okay, now you might think like, hey, that's pretty cool. But in my mind, I was just like, this is not what I want. That just doesn't look good. And, first off, that doesn't even look like the kind of Christmas lights I do. The Christmas lights on the top of the trailer look like something out of clip art. And I just didn't like anything about it. I didn't like the way it looked. And I thought, okay, I need to go see a professional to get a new trailer wrap design. And so I reached out to a bunch of companies. I was like, listen, I'm willing to spend big bucks here, like $500. And I want you guys to design my trailer wrap because I see stuff on your website. It looks super cool. I want that. And all of them said the same thing. They're like, the only way we will do a trailer wrap for you is if we start from the ground up, is if we redo your whole brand. And I was like, redo my whole brand? Do I need to do that? So I said, no, I'm not going to redo my whole brand. I don't care how much it costs. And so I sat on Christmas Lights Installers LLC, my Leaves and Lights brand that I showed you previously. Let me see if I can go back if you're jumping in. Leaves and Lights. So I sat on that for a while. And I didn't have a trailer wrap. I didn't have lettering on my vehicles. And it was okay, but it started to eat at me because, you got to show up with your hat on, you got to show up with your polo on. And I didn't really like the brand that I had anymore. I just kind of realized, you know what, I kind of cheaped out on it. And I felt that deep down. So I realized if I'm going to get vehicle wraps, if I'm going to wrap my trailer, I've got to do something differently. So I made a big move. Not that, this one. And so I went from paying $500 for a 99 Designs logo, and I paid $15,000 plus for an M with a star on it. And I know you're all like super impressed, an M with a star on it. It meant a lot to me at the time, and you'll see why. So I went from spending $500 to spending $15,000. And by the way, if a question comes up while I'm talking, just shoot it in the comments and we can revisit that when I finish this section. But I know how I am. If I think of a question and I don't say something, I'm going to forget it. So just shoot a comment or a question if you have one. Anyways, I spent $500 the first time, spent $15,000 second time because I wanted this brand to be perfect. All right, so here are some cons. We're going to start with the negative. Here's the cons of rebranding your business, okay? You're going to lose authority online. Okay, Google's ranking you to a certain name. Your website's got a certain name. You've got a URL. It's all going to come to a screeching halt when you change your name. Now, there's ways to do it strategically to where you don't lose a ton of authority, but your people are going to have some kind of loss of business there. Your customers are going to get confused. They're going to say, hey, did you get bought out? They're going to think you're a different company. They're going to think something crazy happened. Some people might think that you're a new company entirely. They're like, first off, your customers probably don't know your brand that well if it's not memorable. So they probably don't even know who you are. But especially if you send them an email from a different company, they're going to think they're getting spam, which is what a lot of my clients did. Even after saying, hey, we're rebranding email. Hey, this is our new name. They would just be like, who is this? So you essentially are practically starting over. A new brand, a new name, a new look, a new logo. It does feel like starting from ground zero. So brace yourself when it comes to rebranding. It is going to feel like you're taking a couple steps backwards. And I mean, truthfully, you are taking a few steps backwards, but with the goal of taking steps forwards in the future. All the money you spent on your previous brand, it could be wraps, signs, yard signs, t-shirts, it all has to be replaced. It's got to be scrapped. Okay. And that's expensive. That costs a lot of money. So those are some cons. Okay. Those are some cons. Let's talk about the pros though. Let's talk about the pros of full rebrand. You will be more recognizable and more memorable if you do it correctly. Okay. I like to say you buy once and you cry once. If you're taking notes, you got to write that down. You buy once, you cry once. People are going to recognize your brand easier if you spend a lot of time in making it cohesive, if you make it user friendly. It's going to generate more work in the long term because they're going to remember you, they're going to recognize you, and then eventually your customers are going to come looking for you. After I did my rebrand, we wrapped all of our vans, and you're going to see my rebrand in just a minute. I'm going to show you all of the pictures. I'm even going to show you the pictures of the brand package that I said no to. And you're going to see, we're going to talk about why, and you can ask questions about it. But there was a lady who was driving down the road, saw our van, calls me, calls our CSR and tells them, I saw your van and I knew I had to do business with you. Okay. Now, at that moment, it was, to me, wrapping the vehicles, it was worth it because that residential Christmas light job they ended up doing $10,100 in residential Christmas lights on that one job from one customer from a van wrap. So you can't tell me that van wraps don't work and that branding doesn't work because I've got proof, I've got evidence in my own life that it does. So your customers are going to come looking for you. They're going to say, hey, I saw your branding. We want to be associated with someone that is clean cut, that looks good, that cares about their image. The next pro is you won't have to think about rebranding ever again. Once you spend the money and invest in it, you're locked in. Okay. If you make the decision to rebrand and you make it a brand you love, you're not going to worry in the back of your head thinking, it could be better. I hate wearing these t-shirts. You're going to love your brand. And even if you don't love it that much, the fact that you spent $15,000 is going to make you kind of psychologically love it a little bit more. So every dollar you spend from here on out is going to be invested in advertising, and it's going to be more effective than it could be on its own. Here's the thing. You can have a successful business with a brand that's amazing, and you can have a successful business without a brand that's amazing. But my thing is, why would you want to do that? It's going to be harder. It's going to take more work if you have a bad brand than it is when you have a good one. You're just going to have things flowing in your direction when you spend time and effort in branding your company. I'm not saying you have to have it. I'm sure there are tons of people with all white trucks, no lettering, that do business. They're probably out there. But all I'm saying is I don't want to be the guy that works way harder to get business. I want to be the guy where people are coming to me. So lastly, the last pro, you're going to be proud of repping your brand. You're going to want to wear your t-shirts. Your guys are going to want to wear your t-shirts, your hats. I have people that were ex-employees that were like, hey, bro, that branding is so cool. Can I have some of the merch? Like, I'll even pay for it. And I'm like, man, like if only I could have got my employees to feel that way before they left or before they took another job. So anyways, let's move on to our next thing on branding. And you are about to see our brand in just a minute. Here's the process. We needed a new name. Okay. Leaves and lights was not going to work anymore. I wasn't doing gutter cleaning. I was doing lights, but it didn't make sense. I needed a new name. Okay. I also wanted a non-essential or non-seasonal brand. I wanted a brand that wasn't totally locked down to Christmas lights like my last one was. And if you just jumped in here, I'll go back. I'll show you what it looked like. Boom. That's Christmas. That's the red, the green. It's classic Christmas look. But I wanted a brand that could shift any direction. Let's say Christmas lights comes out, permanent lights go in. I want to be able to shift. Let's say I want to go landscape lighting. What if I want to go interior? What if I want to add another service on? I wanted a brand that could house any entrepreneurial opportunity that might come my way or any market shift. So I didn't want to be locked into just the Christmas light brand. So that was a big thing I wanted. And I wanted untraditional colors. I didn't want to be the red and green anymore. Everyone in my city is red and green and red and green. And it just, if that's you, that's fine. But I just wanted to be different. I wanted to stand out from the pack. Okay. So first we had to start with a name. Okay. You're going to see some crazy stuff here. We had to start with a name. And this was our brainstorm mind map of names. Okay. We tried Brightbox and Smart Shine, the Giving Lantern, and also all of these were URLs that were available before we picked the name we loved. You had Holly Home and Beacon and Lighted Home of Mine. That sounds cute, but it wasn't my style. Shining Home, Rising Light, Wonder, Cheerful, Twinkle Twinkle. These are all decent names. But truthfully, it just didn't give me those warm, fuzzy feelings when I said it. I couldn't say to myself, Beacon LLC and feel good about it. And so truthfully, I went to the Bible and I looked up every scripture I could find on light. And I came upon 1 Peter 2:9, and it said that you should show forth the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. And I looked at my fiance at the time. She's my wife now. And I just said, that's it. Marvelous light. That is it. I knew it that moment, and I was like, that is it. Elliot, yeah, I'm glad I didn't pick any of those other names either. Now, they were good ideas, and they led us down different roads, but I'm glad that I settled on Marvelous Light. I knew that was the brand for me. And so this is where it all came. Here comes the branding picture, and we settled on Marvelous Light, and here is the branding package that I got. Boom! Marvelous Light Home Lighting. That was our first draft. It took like probably 3 months to get here and $15,000. But here we are, Marvelous Lights. And I was proud of it. I was loving it. I loved the green. It was still Christmas, but it wasn't, red and green holly berry Christmas. This kind of looked year round to me. And so that's I really dug into it, and they sent me the next page of the branding package, which I loved. And look, I saw the truck, I saw the color variations. I wasn't really a green guy until now, but now I was digging it. I was digging it. Now, ultimately, we decided not to say home lighting. We just decided to say Marvelous Lights, as you can see here. But our truck does look like pretty much like that, except we changed the word outdoor to exterior and holiday lights. But I was proud of it. That was our first draft, though. Here are some others that when you pay for this level of branding, you get options. And let's say green's not your thing. Okay. You could go to, let's see if this next one will come up, a different non-traditional Christmas logo. Okay. This to me felt like a pressure washing company. Or an HVAC company, you know, the classic red, white, and blue American flag, Americana style. And it was cool. And I wanted variety. I wanted to see those non-traditional looks, but it just didn't resonate with who I was. Again, you can see a little bit of a difference in the style. You can see the wrap's a little bit different, the color's a little bit different. But overall, still a Christmas-like company, non-traditional, you know, non-seasonal. The red is red. Yes, that's Christmas red, but the blue and the red combined say not seasonal business, say year-round business. And here's the last one. This was my least favorite, okay? And you can vote which one you like better, 1, 2, or 3 in the comments if you want to. This was the last one. I didn't really vibe with this one at all, truthfully. But it was, you know, worth mentioning. Still the same green for the Christmas light words. The non-traditional blue and gold were incorporated in there. Here's what the truck wrap would look like. Let me see if I can get this to go. There it is. Here's the truck wrap. You have the white, you have the blue, you have the green. Now this right here, this says Christmas as well, but it's also, again, it's year round. If you change that word Christmas lighting to home lighting or regular lighting, you would see a year-round brand there with the blue, the green, and the white. I loved these brands. I thought they were all great. Obviously, we settled on one of the 3, and that one is the Marvelous Lights brand. I'll go back to it so you can see it. And this is what we ended up deciding to go with. We changed the word home lighting to regular lighting, but it was pretty awesome to think. Now, when I first spent $15,000 and wired that over, I didn't know if it was going to be worth it. Okay, but when I got the package, the branding package, I knew, you know what, it was worth it. And I was glad that I did spend my money on the branding package. Okay, but here's some things you need to know if you're going to consider rebranding in your company. Okay. Here's some things you got to know. This process will hurt your business initially, okay? In the long run, it's going to be good for you. But in the short run, it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful changing your URL, getting your website changed, losing SEO rankings, changing your GMB, and then Google My Business wanting to mail you a new letter to verify your business. Like, that's going to hurt. It's going to hurt your leads. It's going to hurt your business. Okay, so if you're going to rebrand, do it in the off season and do it early. If you really don't like your brand, change it as soon as possible. Invest in a good one as soon as possible so that all the work you do in the future is compounding towards that good brand. Here's the thing. My branding package from start to finish, from the day I had the call and said, let's do it, to the day I got my vector files for my van wraps and everything, it took 6 whole months. 6 months. Okay, that's not a short amount of time. So you can't wait till August, September to get these branding packages done if you want it to be done right and you want it to look good. It's going to take 3 to 6 months just to get the branding package complete. Here's another thing you need to know. You need to build a brand that appeals to your clientele and not just you. Okay, all of us in this live stream, we all have our favorite color. We have our favorite things. We have our personal preferences. Okay, that's great and all, but you need to build a brand that your customers are going to be attracted to and are going to appeal to them. Okay, if it was me, I would have a camo brand with a old school World War II white star on it that looks like a tank. Like, that's just the stuff I like. Okay, but let me tell you, the older upper middle age women that are my clients, they don't care if my brand, they wouldn't care for my brand if it was the military-esque World War II style fighter brand. Okay, they probably would be like, yeah, let's not go with them. Let's go with someone who's kind of cute and kind of cool. So build a brand that appeals to your clientele, not just to you. You need to be thinking with them in mind. I know you want a brand that's cool and that you love, and you can find a happy medium, but you have to build the brand for them, for your clientele. And the last thing you need to know is if you want to be a key player in the residential home service businesses, having a good brand is a must. Okay. If you're doing commercial work, they're probably not going to care about your brand. Okay. They're going to care about who has the lowest price in the market. They're going to get 100 bids. They're going to put the bid online. And it's not really they're not really even going to care about your brand. But if you want to be a competitor in the residential home services, home products, in the upper level clientele, your branding is going to be key. All right. I think that completes everything I wanted to talk about when it came to my rebranding story and to branding in general. Does anyone have any questions? I might have spelled clientele wrong, Donovan. I don't know. But let me tell you, just because the spelling's wrong doesn't mean the quote isn't good. So I'm going to leave my brand up there for just a few moments. Does anybody have any questions about branding or the branding experience or anything in general related to that? I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to pull up our chat. And if not, that's okay. We can move on to our next thing. Do I have a photo of the van? I do. I don't know if I can show it to you because I didn't upload it, but I might be able to pull it up on my phone and show it to you. Our trailer is pretty awesome. If you're in Charlotte and you're driving by, come hang out with us. I'll show you our trailer. We've got lights on the inside and Christmas lights on the outside. Looks pretty awesome. All right, this is a low quality way of showing you our vehicles. I'm sorry, this is just pathetic, but here we are. Boom. So the truck wrap that you see here in this thing ended up being pretty close to what we did. So Brian, I didn't say who I did for rebranding. I ended up using Prolific Brand Designs, but I will tell you, there are a lot of people out there that charge a lot of different prices. And there's some great branders like Dan Antonelli. Okay. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg. Okay. But it might be worth it. I use Prolific. I think they did pretty good. I wish it didn't take 6 months, but they did a good job. So, Elliot asked the same question. Brian Jensen asked the same question. Corey, I did not know Marvelous was spelled different in Canada. You know what? The 2 L's is actually how the King James Bible spells it. So that's pretty neat. Fun fact there. Donovan says, when I went for branding, I found out that DIV means idiot in other countries instead of Donovan the Fourth. I actually didn't know what DIV meant until you told me, but that's pretty neat. If you have any other questions, I'll answer them in just a moment. We're going to move on here, and we are going to talk about some marketing. All right. So I want to talk about marketing for just a few moments. Then we'll open it up for any other Q&As, and you can make fun of me for my ugly logo that I had in the beginning, and I'll show that again if anyone didn't see it. But let's talk about marketing in the early phase. Okay. You've got limited capital. You're a startup business. You may have no money and you just have hopes and dreams that you're living on. Here's the thing. You got to stretch every dollar, and you're going to have more time than you have money. You might be working a full-time job like I was and doing Christmas lights till midnight every night. But here's the thing. You got more time than money. Okay. If you don't have money, then you have something, and that's time. So you got to focus on the lowest cost, highest ROI marketing. Okay. The things that are going to be the easiest to do, the lowest barrier of entry. Okay. So that's going to be social media posts in Facebook groups. You need to be hounding Facebook groups until you get banned, until you get removed. Okay. Probably not. Okay. Don't get banned, because then you lose your opportunity to advertise. But you need to be in there. You need to be a person that people can relate to. You need to be a person that people see commenting often and being helpful. You need to bring awareness to who you are in the community through those Facebook groups. And then also just in generally posting on your Facebook in general. People might see you post an advertisement, and they're going to click on your name, and they're going to see what you're like, So you need to have somewhat of professional branding online, so that when people go and check you out, they don't see this guy who's, you know what I mean, I don't want to give any stereotypes, but he just doesn't look professional. So the next is going to be referrals from your network. Okay. Truth be told, this next statement's going to hurt some people, but it's the truth. Your clients will become your friends quicker than your friends will become your clients. Okay. It's the truth. Especially when you do a high-end home service, your friends usually just can't afford it. Okay. And they're going to be like, oh man, I'd love to get some lights. And then you tell them and they're like, whoa, I thought it was $200. And then you have to tell them, no, it's actually 2,000. So here's the thing, referrals from your network. Your friends may not be your clients, but they might have people who are. They might have friends who are. They might have parents or grandparents or neighbors who will be your clients. And so utilize that network. You might think, Ryan, I don't have a network. Okay, open up your phone, okay? Go to your contacts, and that's your network, okay? Go to Facebook, click on friends, see how many friends you have. Could be 200, could be 2,000. That's your network. Utilize your network to your advantage. Okay. The next highest form of our ROI marketing is going to be yard signs. Okay. You can get them on supercheapsigns.com when they're on sale for probably like $5 or less a sign. Double-sided, 2 colors, 1 color. Okay. Yard signs are going to be a big deal if you have limited capital to work with and you're in the early phase of your business. Okay. You need to be putting out yard signs like no joke. Okay. Yard signs need to be everywhere. Until you get fined, and then you need to cool your jets. But I don't know if you guys have noticed, but yard signs have been blowing up lately. I mean, I've seen people pulling up other people's signs and putting theirs down, or taking yours off the stakes and putting theirs on. It's getting out of control. But that's just how it is. That's why they're called bandit signs, because you're just throwing them up everywhere. You're just going crazy. All right, the next phase of marketing that you're going to want to focus on is going to be Google My Business posting. Okay. That costs nothing to do, and it just helps you with your rankings. Okay. Google My Business posting, you may as well do it every day in season if you want to continually rank higher on Google. And that costs nothing to do. So you may as well be doing it. Networking events also, they might be free. Some of them you might have to pay a BNI group fee or a chamber of commerce, but get out and network with people. If you've got time, you need to be networking. You need to be wearing a t-shirt that has your brand on it, put a hat on that has your brand on it, either or, and just go shake hands. Let people know you're a normal guy who has a cool business, who wants to be a part of the community. Okay, that's something that you need to be working on. And then this last one is going to be optional because it does cost money to get a website up and running. But get a website and get some SEO optimization. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does need to have the basics. You know what I mean? The thing is, the reason I said it's optional is because you may not have money to do that. If you have a little bit of money, invest in a website, invest in some SEO optimization, get your rankings up. If you don't, you can wait till the next phase of business to do that. And that's going to be what we're going to talk about now. This is the growth phase. Okay. Phase number 2 is the growth phase. Okay. Hopefully by now you've got a little bit of a client database to work with. You can, email market them. People should be on drip campaigns when they come into you. You can use things like HubSpot and Zapier, and you can integrate little automations to where when they get a lead, they jump into an email marketing funnel that drips slowly content to them. Yeah, they might unsubscribe, but what if they don't? What if they don't? What if they see all of your stuff and then they buy from you? So you should be working on email marketing using MailChimp. Now Jobber offers email marketing, which is awesome. So if you're using Jobber CRM, you don't even have to buy a separate service. You can just integrate within. Print materials. Okay. This is stuff that I would say, wait till you have a little more money in the bank to invest in print materials, and wait until you're in the growth phase. Because print materials are expensive and you can burn through them like hotcakes. Like they'll go quick. Door hangers, you should be doing 5 rounds on every door. Every job you do, you should have a door hanger on all the neighbors, letting you know what service you're doing and you're in the area. Flyers, the same with flyers. The thing with print material, and you even see it on the next post, postcards, every door direct mail. The thing with that is it's like $1 per card after you get it mailed and designed and all these things. You end up probably spending $1 per card. Now that's not $1 per lead, that's $1 per impression. And that's a pretty high cost. So compared to some of the other costs, like in the digital space, that can be pretty high. So, and you can burn through 1,000 postcards and not hear from anyone. So it really depends on where you're targeting, on who you're targeting your every door direct mail to. But that's some stuff that you want to start thinking about when you're in your growth phase. Okay, start thinking about the postcards, start thinking about automations and neighborhood blitzes, and where you're doing one house and all the neighbors know about it because they get a postcard that says, hey, you're going to see our trucks in the area. And next thing you know, in this growth phase, your goal is to get 7 touch points for any client that sees you. They really, there's some study, and we've all heard it before in sales meetings. You got to, have like 7 to 10 brand impressions before someone does business with you. Well, just get a couple of those out of the way. Just get a couple of those out of the way, send them a postcard, put a door hanger, put a yard sign, get your truck wrapped, knock on the door, and get your business growing. The last thing here in the growth phase, and this has probably been my most successful form of marketing, is going to be your digital ad space. That's your Google pay-per-click, your Facebook ads, and your local service ads. Sometimes pay-per-click is just a race to see who's willing to pay the most. But it depends on the market environment on which is best. Facebook, the ads are coming to the client while they're relaxing. Okay. And so it's a different type of medium. Whereas Google pay-per-click, the client is going to the internet to search and you're coming up first. So there's pros and cons. What you need to do is, if you're running these ads and if you plan on doing it, track them. Okay. Hire a VA, get your friend, get your wife, get your neighbor, get your husband, whoever's helping you with your business, have them make a spreadsheet of all your leads, how much money you're spending, how many you're converting, and what that ROI is. You need to see what your lead cost is for all these. I found that one of them is better than the rest in my area, but it's going to be different in your area of the states and of the world, really. Corey Tanner says, don't forget about text campaigns. Open rate is over 95%. Yeah, texting is awesome. And texting is super easy with a CRM like Jobber. You can text people all the time. There's also a lot of other add-on services that will do text marketing, especially if you have a home service business outside of lighting that is like a reoccurring service like pressure washing or gutter cleaning. Those reoccurring texts are super, super important. All right, we're going to talk about the last form of marketing for the market dominance phase. This is when you're not struggling, you're not a new guy anymore, and you're really willing to sink some money into these marketing forms. You want more than 7 touch points or impressions. Okay, that's when you start wrapping all your vehicles. Okay, now you can do any of these out of order. You can wrap your vehicles day one if you want to. Okay, you may not keep your brand like I did, like I didn't end up keeping my brand, but you can do these at any phase. But this is the most typical stereotype of when people are bringing in these different ad revenues or these different advertisement sources. So you start wrapping your vehicles. Every van is wrapped. Every truck is wrapped. Every time someone is driving down the road, they've got the vehicle. It's screaming your name. It's screaming your colors. You're not looking like other people. That's going to be a huge ROI. It's not going to be easily tracked because someone could say, oh, I saw you on Google, but really they saw your truck first, then they saw your yard sign, so a little bit harder to track, but that brand recognition is going to go a long way. Billboards, and I might have spelled that wrong, might have 1 L, might have 2, doesn't matter. Okay, billboards, that's going to be an expensive form of advertising that you're not going to want to jump right into if you're new in business. Okay, but if you have a local service area that you market to, if you're not, if you're a national brand, you're not going to go billboards, you're going to go with the internet. But if you're trying to work in a city or in a small town, a billboard might be the best thing for you because everyone's going to drive by, everyone's going to see it, and you're going to be, the king of that service area. Here's the next one: TV and radio ads. This is a little bit of a controversy. Some people think radio is totally dead. I would say, yeah, I'm not going to waste my money on radio ads, but some companies find ways to do business through radio ads and TV commercials, or you contact your local news station and do a little interview with them that they fake, make it look like you're a guest. There's a lot of opportunities to advertise like that. And I would wait till you're a little bit bigger, have a little more money in the bank to do those. Stronger SEO presence. That's when you're starting to pour thousands and thousands of dollars a week and a month in making sure your business is at the very top of the organic search. That's something that if you're trying to dominate the market, you're going to have to pour your money into. And then you go into the home shows. You're at every home show, you're at every trade show, you're in the magazines, you're in the Valpak. I don't even open a Valpak. Okay. I'm 28. Okay. I rip it in half and I throw it away. But some people, they're serious about opening the Valpak and going through these little coupons that they mail out, or getting a local magazine and flipping through the pages and stuff. I don't have time to look through magazines. Okay. I'm going to go straight to Google personally, and or I'm going to go and see a Facebook ad and I'm going to click on it. That's just me. Okay. But you got to decide what's best for your business, what's best for your clientele. Where are they at? Who are they? And where are their eyeballs going to be? All right. Here's a couple things as we are coming to a close. We're going to land this plane. Here's some things to avoid when it comes to marketing. Okay. There's some things. These are some tips for you. Take it or leave it. I would avoid Home Advisor. Okay. You're going to pay per lead and you're not going to be guaranteed the job. It's going to be whoever calls the client first. They're going to call you as soon as you start your business, and they're going to want you to get on board. I wouldn't do it. I think it's a little bit of a waste of your money. You might have a different experience. You can put that experience in the comments and I'll read it for everybody. But me personally, I wouldn't waste your money with that. Magazines early on, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't put your money in the print materials like that early on. I would wait till you have exhausted your other higher ROI sources of advertising, unless you know and it's proven that that's a high ROI source. Josh is saying avoid Angie's List. Yeah, I mean, anywhere that you have to pay to play, I would avoid that. And that's my next point. The Better Business Bureau, I don't know when they sold out. I don't know when they did this, but they're sold out. They're gone. It's pay to play now. You want to be listed as a Better Business Bureau, top ranking business, you're paying them. Okay. Which to me is a sham. All right. But that's how it is now with a lot of these people. They want you to pay to rank. So I wouldn't do any of these pay to play things. They're just going to take your money. You're going to get little out of it, in my opinion. Okay. The next one is going to be direct mail. Okay. Mail and postcards to thousands of people without any restrictions. Do not waste your money sending mailers if you are not hyper fixating on the areas that you're sending to. All right. You need to be targeting the right audience. And that's going to be the last comment for marketing here. And that's going to be, do not market without a client avatar in mind. Okay. What's a client avatar? A client avatar is the picture perfect client for your business. It is the person that's the right age, that's the right socioeconomic status, that has the right house and is in the right opportunity to do business with you. You have to find out who that is. Every city is different. Every state is different. Every service is different. Okay. But here's the thing. If you want customers to pay for your power washing service or your Christmas light service or gutter cleaning service, you better target the people who own a home. Okay. You don't want to target people who are in apartments. Okay. That's a given. But the same goes for who's clicking on your ads. Are they girls or are they guys? Okay. Who's buying from you? Are they the young people under 30? Are they the old people over 60? Like, where is your client avatar? You got to figure that out through tracking data, through tracking, you got to do some testing in the beginning and find out who that client avatar is. Or just take a list of all the addresses you've done business with and find out what's the square footage of their home. What's the median value of their home? What socioeconomic bracket are they in? Okay, and you can find all this stuff. This information is not hidden. Okay, I mean, you can find anything about anyone nowadays. Even just going to the post office and looking at their mail routes, you can see median incomes and median ages. But you got to find out who your client avatar really is. And if you've got any questions or have any comments or want to talk about something, now would be the time to throw that in the comments and I'll shout you out and we'll talk about it. But advertising, I mean, it is a cost of doing business. In the beginning, I did not realize you had to pour money into ads. And this is something that I talk about a lot, because if you want to grow, you're going to have to spend money on marketing. And you might think, oh, I have such little money as it is now. Well, if you keep spending with that small mindset in marketing, now obviously do what's best for your business, consult your friends, yada, yada. Consult your CPA. Don't just spend money like willy-nilly, but you're going to have to invest in marketing if you're going to want to grow your business. Until you have, let's say, thousands of clients and you're getting hundreds of referrals that you don't even have to, You don't even have to run an ad ever again. When you get there, call me and give me some tips. But Jared, what's going on, Jared? Good to see you here. Networking. Yes, bro, you got to network. Let me go back a couple slides. Let me go to 19. If you're in the early phases, you got to be networking at networking events. Networking as much as you can. One thing, Jared, I don't know when you jumped on, but we talked about sometimes in your network, your friends will not become your clients as quickly as your clients will become your friends. But your friends might know someone who is going to be a client. And these things compound. The things you do in the beginning days, you should continue doing those as you grow. You're just adding on to it. So, yep, Elliot Vickers, it takes money to make money. I'm with you. So, let's see. Elliot, yeah, that's a good question. Elliot, did the brand influence you to come and join us and work for us? Elliot's our operations director or manager, whatever you want to call it. And he is in the chat. That's a good question. I think it did. Honestly, Elliot wears the brand even when he's hanging out. Like if we go to the gym or if we're not working, he's still repping the brand. So I would say probably, but I'll let him decide. Caitlin, what is the best ROI marketing method for your area? Wouldn't you like to know, Caitlin? I'm just kidding. My business might be different from other people. I would say the highest ROI first is going to be yard signs for my area. Second, I think is Google pay-per-click. But the thing with Google pay-per-click is it's getting pretty pricey. We probably got 40 or 50 competitors in the Christmas light space in this area, and it's getting pricey. So if you don't have the money to pay there, find other ways of advertising. So, all right, I'm gonna for any of you that jumped in late, I'm gonna throw my early brand up just so you can see it, so we can make fun of it. I thought it was awesome. I thought, bro, a leaf going into a light, it couldn't be more perfect. Gutter cleaning, Christmas lights, those are two great business opportunities. It just didn't work out for me. That's just not where I wanted to take my company long term. And I wish I would have started off with a brand that was more of who I was, or that was a little bit free of a certain service to where I could take it to any direction. So if you didn't see what that was, I'll show you. I ended up getting a branding package for Marvelous Lights. This was Marvelous Home Lighting. We ended up changing it to Marvelous Lights. And here's what it ended up looking like. It was pretty awesome. Cost a lot of money. My first brand costed $500. My second brand costed 15 grand plus. And when you start wrapping the vehicles, then you add on 3 grand every time. And then you get new shirts and new hats and new yada yada. Anyways, I do have a problem though that you might be able to help me with. If you guys know of a company that makes green hats that are the color of this branding, help me out. I have not found a really cool, high quality green hat that we could put our branding on. That's why I've got a black t-shirt on right now. Our hats are black because I don't want mismatching greens. That just doesn't vibe with me. So I'm hunting for the perfect green hat, the perfect green polo. So if you see one, shoot it over to me. Help me out. And I much appreciate it. All right. Elliot says it's rare to catch me without my Marvelous hat. Yeah. Elliot's first hat, he wore that one until it pretty much was sun bleached. So props to Elliot for that. Corey, be your brand. Everyone you talk to is a prospect. Live by your core values. Your brand represents. I'm going to put that up there, Corey. I forgot I can do this. I can put these things up here. Be your brand. You might be, and that's the thing. If you're embarrassed of your logo, if you're embarrassed of your brand, just get it out of the way as soon as possible. Stop thinking about it. Stop wasting your time thinking about it. Just get it out of the way and find a brand that you resonate with and stick to that. Elliot says, everyone knows who I work for and what I do. They know who to come for when they need permanent lights and Christmas lights. I'm going to throw Elliot's comment up there. That's true. People at his church, people in his neighborhood, his old barber, everyone hits him up trying to get lights. And that's the way you got to do it. That is the way you got to do it. Josh says you should mention your yard signs are pretty professional looking compared to others. That's a great point, Josh. You got to bring up yard signs. There's two kinds of yard signs. There's yard signs that are branded, and then there are bandit signs. Okay, the bandit signs have the service name, Christmas lights, your phone number, and your website, and that's it. And it's super easy to see, super basic. And you put those in intersections and in roundabouts and stop signs. And then you have your premier, your premium, expensive, full color, double sided yard signs. Okay. And those go in front of the home. Don't start putting your beautiful yard signs all over the city. Okay. What that's going to do, you're going to get calls from the city and you're going to get fines from the city. Okay. So there's a difference between the yard signs. There's two different games when it comes to yard sign game. There's bandits, and then there's like the premium high quality yard signs. You got to know where to put which one. Fred, I'm taking your comment down. Small city, 50 installers. There's probably more, Fred. Okay. They're just not ranking on Google. But there is a lot of money in gutter cleaning. That is a good point. Elliot's saying the same stuff over and over again. Caitlin says, when you do rebranding, did they suggest getting a new business name, or is that just my choice? That's a great question, Caitlin. They actually told me I had to rebrand. I had to change my name or they wouldn't work with me, which you might think like, wow, that's pretty intense. Okay, but that's just how they do business. Is they said we couldn't take your existing business and make it look good. As a matter of fact, I'll show you my trailer that I had initially. I think it's here it is. My trailer. I tried to use this brand and I tried to get them to give me a trailer wrap. And they said, no, we need to start from scratch. We need to have a new name, a new logo, new colors, or we're not working with you. And that kind of scared me at first. But somehow I mustered up the strength and the finances to bite the bullet, and I jumped headfirst in. And so the name, I didn't want to rename, but I knew what I had wasn't good enough. I knew Leaves and Lights wasn't going to cut it. Now, I didn't realize that I was going to come on Marvelous Lights. And it's on this side. I actually ended up picking the name myself, but they helped get me into the mindset where I was thinking of new names and thinking of other avenues of changing the name. So that's a great question, though. Justin Moore, Ryan equals premium. Now Ryan just spends his money where it counts. That's all, Justin. Love you, and I hope to see you some more up in Gastonia. All right, Clark. I'm in year 10. In order to grow, let me put this up here. I'm in year 10. In order to grow the business and scale, do you hire seasonal subcontractors to fill the work or hire more employees? Clark, this is a great question in the Christmas light business. Everyone has the same problem. They need a ton of people October and November, and then they need to lay them off, and they don't need them anymore. There's a lot of different ways you can go about this. Okay. You could hire people seasonally. Okay. It depends. It also, there's so many dependent factors, Clark. Do you have another business that you can pull from? Do you do any year-round services? Okay. This is obviously where I'm supposed to plug that CLC is doing permanent light training all the time to help you get these year-round services. But are you looking into other options? Are you looking into landscape lighting options to keep people on? Some people hire subcontractors and some people live by that. I have not had success with subcontractors. Their work has always been subpar. And my clients that I work with are paying for a premium brand. They're paying for guys that walk up speaking English, wearing good hats, good shirts, good Vans. So I haven't had success with H-2B visa workers, and I have not had success with subcontractors. I hope to have success with them in the future. At the moment, I don't. I just hire seasonal employees. I hire temp guys. I train them up best I can a little bit earlier, and then we roll with that. Fred says subcontractors are key to scaling. I mean, if you want to be a big player, you're going to have to use some kind of labor that is not going to be just regular W-2 employees, I think. But that's in the Christmas light business. That's when the demand is hot and heavy. October, November rolls around and it gets crazy. If you want to look at some of those training events and have a year-round business and get into permanent lighting, there's a lot of different brands out there, but CLC will help train you on some of the different brands. You can look at the clclighttraining.com page. You can look at those training opportunities. Fred says we had a big labor problem for years until we started finding subs. So if you want to know how to use good subs, talk to Fred. Don't ask me. Have not had good luck with it, but maybe down the road, maybe this year we will. I just haven't in the past. So also, if you have an employee that's really good and wants to start his own business, that'd be a great opportunity to start using subs. and have him pay for insurance, and you 1099 him. So, but yes, we got awesome training events coming up. We got a pressure washing training coming up May 9th and 10th with Brian. It's going to be a great event. We're going to hear from Donovan and Brian about pressure washing, about permanent lighting. We're going to do a permanent lighting job. And he has got a houseboat that we're going to hang out on. So this is going to be some training, some fellowship, some good opportunities to learn and just to grow with each other. Find people that are like-minded, that are going places, and that can kind of bring you up along the way. Josh Ogle, looking into fire departments for part-time workers. That's a great place to look. Discount Tire has awesome employees. Anywhere the go-getters are, you need to go get them. So I think that's it for now. If you are interested in lights, obviously Christmas Light Contractors is going to be the best place to buy your Christmas lights, the highest quality. I got to plug them. And then if you're looking for training, if you want to get into Christmas lights, if you want some hands-on stuff, Donovan is going to be hosting some trainings at his personal home in the summertime in July. And he's going to bring on just a small group of people. He's going to teach them his ways, show them his business, show them how to make money this year, how to quit their job if they want to, and live the life of their dreams. You're not going to want to miss it. Fred is also doing a Twinkly Pro session in Connecticut, which is going to be awesome. I want to start getting into the Twinkly Pro. They're offering new stuff like icicle lights, like bistro lights, and I love the mapping of the Christmas lights that Twinkly Pro offers. So if you want to learn that, you're going to be able to have that opportunity with Fred. But ultimately, we're trying to help you grow your business and serve you. So check out clclightstraining.com. It's linked in the comments on Facebook. But I think that's it. If we don't have any other questions, I'm probably going to hop off here. I'm going to give you a few more moments to throw your questions in, to throw your comments in. I'll shout you out if you say something. But ultimately, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my brand. Hope you guys, I opened up my heart and my life to you and my wallet. I showed you what I spent. If you've got questions about it or you just want to chat, feel free to DM me on Facebook. I'm open to chatting anytime, help you with your rebrand ideas or if you're trying to make the leap. But ultimately, here to serve you guys, here to help out. Corey, appreciate it, man. Glad you're on here. Josh, appreciate you for staying to the end. Fred, Donovan, Elliot, love y'all. All right. Hope you guys have a great week. This has been an awesome Monday call. If you've got ideas for the future, if you want to hear about things or see different things in the business, let me know, let Donovan know, let Fred know, let Caitlin know, let Tyler Zimmerman know. We're here to serve y'all. And I hope you guys have a great night. This is Ryan Culp with Marvelous Light.